Okay, so a G-shaped G major would be 5-7-2 as a root. G is the fifth of C, B is the seventh of C, D is the second of C. So our five Mixolydian triad is 5-7-2, and this is that G major shape. Okay, that's all it's saying. That's all it's saying. That you can play a G major my capo is kind of not doing its job. And that gives you a root to start from, you know? It gives you a root shape. So that's what that part of the chart is showing you. Here it is again. I'm using the pause, so I'll go to the part of the chart we're at instead of panning over there. So that would be G right there. That's the part of the chart. And D gives you first inversion the way we just discussed. We just looked at that. C gives you second inversion because you just move the D up, or the G up, and when you move a G shaped up, you get a C. According to the magic chart, G goes up one string, play a G from that shape. A G shape from the first string gives you a C shape. Okay, here we are. Now it tipped me off is I got C root here, C-shaped root. Okay, so, all right, in this case, this is the wrong box, so let's just pan down a little bit. Correction, pan over. Same fretboard, the Mixolydian and Aeolian fretboard. That's why it says just root and C5. It doesn't have the fourth listed. This is the new thing that I'm doing today. Alright, here we are. This is the C-shaped G. Same fretboard. And now we just have the root and the 5 showing because we're only doing Mixolydian 5-7-2 and Aeolian 6R3 on this fretboard. When I cough, it makes me hot. So we start a G shape from the second string, and we get this 5-7-2. All right, let's just start that G shape. Like we're going to play a G shape from the second string. Yes, we are. So I find a G on the second string, and it's like I'm almost just going to play this little G chord, but it's going to become a C. So I better hit this G that's warped up. See, it has the little D shape that a C shaped that a C chord has. Now it's a C shaped or a little D shaped G. So that's how that works. So this is where we were. And what it says is we can get a root shape from the second string. I could put a 2 there. But I didn't want to limit it to that specific case. So with the D, we saw the D, and then if we start that D shape from another string, we'll get a G. Here's a perfect example of starting from different strings. Start a C shape. Let's first look at the C shape. and say it's going to be second inversion. Alright, here's Mr. Mixolydian here. It's a Mixolydian triad now. It's probably improper to call it a Mixolydian, but I call it that anyway, because it's in the mode of Mixolydian. That's its role. You're not going to see an F sharp here. You're not going to see a 7 there, because Mixolydian doesn't have a 7 there. It has a dominant whole step down. So it's not even in the equation, so to speak. So let's look at the Mixolydian and see if we have a second inversion involved here. So remember, Mixolydian is, or the fifth is 5, 7, 2, right? Well, here's 2, 5, 7. There's second inversion right there. Remember our rule: if you just play an arpeggio one member of that triad per string, it'll repeat itself. 2, 5, 7, 2, 5, 7. That repeats itself nicely. It's just what, when you want to go up to the octave, you have to warp over and then warp back for a major third. So it goes like this. That sounds flat. Okay. Sounds good to me. I like open string tuning, not trying to go to the next string. I just like to make sure that they're, close enough for rock and roll. That saying fit here. So that's our C second inversion. You can see it has a second, it's got second inversion written all over it. Okay, it's also got root right here. Alright. If you start a G shape from the C shape, you get root again, because anywhere you start a G shape, you're going to get root. Even if you start a G shape from this string way up here. Well, let's start one from, not that high up, but let's start one from this string. You start a G shape from this. Okay. The problem is, where's our 7? Oh, our 7 warped over. I'm going, where's our 7? It warped over on the warp string. So you start a G shape, you want to go that way, but it warps up, and then so you've got your 5 to 7, that's your major third, and then you go to your minor third. G shape looks like becomes our friend the A shape. Just like the magic circle says. Hey, Andy in the woods. Just like the magic circle says. G shape from what, third string up or something becomes the A shape right there. This is second string, third string. G shape from the fourth string becomes the A shape. So here we are again. G shape. Remember, you're always going to have to deal with, now you're not dealing with intervals strictly. You're not forging a path with raw intervals. Like if you said, play me a F sharp half diminished arpeggio. Okay, here's an F sharp. Now I gotta go 2 minors. I messed it up. It's not raw intervals. There's chords involved. So we're going to play a G chord here, a G arpeggio, or just kind of shape out a G pentatonic. But we're not worried about what's below the finger bar.